Today we're going to be reviewing the food that we ate at dinner, mostly on our cruise. Now, every night we had the same dining time with the same waiters.
Yep.
And the waiters were phenomenal. They really were.
Service was phenomenal.
By the end of the first night, they knew our names, they knew what we liked to drink, and they were ready for us every other night after that. And we did do the 2 specialty lunches.
We did, yeah.
So that'll be included in this video. And then at the end, we're going to talk a little bit about the International Cafe, some of the bars that we went to, and the specialty ice cream as well.
Oh, yeah. The ice cream I couldn't finish. It's so huge.
Absolutely. So be sure to check it out and like and subscribe to our channel so that way you can follow along with all of our adventures on the Coral Princess and in Alaska.
Yeah. All right. Let's take a look.
On day 1, we had the sail away dinner. We got on the boat late because we were on the train coming in, so we missed our dinner reservation, but they were able to squeeze us in. Every night we started off with fresh breads, and then there were a series of starter soups and salad. Out of the appetizers we had tonight, our favorite was the French onion soup, but our least favorite was the shrimp cocktail. For the mains, there was always a pasta and several different options, including vegetarian options, seafood, and chicken or beef. And then there's always the princess favorites. These change slightly, but they pretty much remain the same for the most part. And you can make the evening extra special with some added items for a charge.
On this night, one of our favorites was the Cajun fried chicken. Now, this was prepared very nicely. The chicken was very flavorful. It was crunchy, so one of the top dishes there. The biggest disappointment was the pan-fried Alaska cod. They thought it was rather chewy and just very flavorless.
For dessert, there are 3 new options every evening, but there are also the princess favorites, which vary slightly. They may have different types of cheesecakes or different options there, but these you'll see again. For desserts tonight, the best thing that was served was the blueberry cobbler. It was very sweet and crunchy on top, but what a disappointment to have a New York cheesecake that the consistency was not quite right and the flavor wasn't sweet at all. Day 2 for lunch, we ate at Alfredo's Pizzeria. This is a specialty lunch that is included if you have the Princess Plus package or the Premier package. Otherwise, it's a $14.99 cover charge that includes appetizer, pizza, and dessert. So for the appetizer, it is basically a caprese salad, and then you get to choose your pizzeria from this list here. And then for dessert, everyone has tiramisu. The caprese salad was fresh. It could have used a little bit more pesto though. We got the marguerite pizza as well as the vegetarian pizza, and both were delicious. Would have liked them to be a little bit more crisp. The tiramisu didn't have much flavor. It was really just a mousse with some espresso powder on the top. Here are the appetizers for day 2 in Hubbard Glacier. We missed our reservation again due to watching the glacier, but we were allowed to go into the Bordeaux dining room, and we probably had to wait about 20 minutes for a table.
One of the favorite starters on this night was the hot smoked Alaska steelhead salmon with potato and sour cream. A lot of members of our family loved this one. The least favorite, however, was the Alaska style fish soup. I really looked forward to this one. It looked rather hearty when you looked at the ingredients. However, it really lacked the amount of seafood, and it was just okay.
The mains for day 2, of course, had 2 different kinds of pasta and some wonderful looking mains. A lot of great options, and it was so hard to choose. Tonight, our favorite entree was the seared wild Alaska salmon with orange dill gremolata. It was cooked perfectly and seared, crispy on the outside and seasoned just right. However, the beef stroganoff was just weird. It had pickles in it and some strange vegetables that aren't usually in beef stroganoff, and no one seemed to really like that one. And day number 3 in Glacier Bay, we had the Captain's Welcome Dinner, which was a formal night. So we really enjoyed this dinner. It was the first dinner that we actually made our reservations for. So first up, we have our starters, soups, and salads.
On this night, our starters consisted of Alaska crab cake and crab and corn chowder. Now, there really were no winners or losers on this one. It was just okay. The Alaskan crab cake tasted more like a hush puppy and had very little crab. And the same thing with the crab and corn chowder. More corn, very little crab, and it was just average as far as flavor is concerned.
And for the entrees, of course, we had 2 different kinds of pasta and some wonderful mains. The halibut was the best thing that I ate on the trip. And of course, the princess favorites are also an option. Tonight, our favorite main entree was the Alaska caught halibut with prosciutto. This was one of our favorite dishes of the cruise. It was crispy on the outside. The lemon potato puree underneath was fantastic. One of the least favorite dishes tonight was the ravioli with ricotta and the cream walnut sauce. It was just okay and pretty bland. And here are our day 3 desserts.
On this night, the pistachio dome was the winner as far as desserts are concerned. This consisted of a chocolate outer shell, almond cake mousse, and nougat, and it's offered several nights on the cruise ship. The loser, however, was the semolina tart. This one had no flavor at all. And again, this is a no sugar dessert.
Tonight on day 4, we had Italian night. There was a waiter that was singing in Italian around the dining room, so that was kind of fun. And there were several starters, soups, and salads that featured Italian specialties.
Tonight for the starters, the prosciutto and melon took first place. The prosciutto was nice and salty, and the melon was super sweet. It was fantastic. However, the arancini, which usually I love, was very bland and flavorless.
The mains were also Italian specialties, and we learned tonight that you could get the pasta and appetizer portions as well.
The winner on this night was the seafood risotto. This dish presented itself very well. It was creamy and had lots of flavor. The loser, however, was the Mama's lasagna, and I had this one here. It tasted more like Hamburger Helper, unfortunately. I love Italian food. This one was the biggest disappointment.
And here are our day 4 desserts. Of course, they were also Italian in nature.
For the desserts tonight, there really wasn't a favorite. The lemon cheesecake didn't have much flavor, and the tiramisu was okay. It was definitely better than the one that we had at Alfredo's for specialty lunch.
Day 5 was our gala dinner. So this was our second formal night. We started off with some lovely starter soups and salads.
On this night, we had the escargot. We also had the seafood deviled eggs and also the cream of wild mushroom soup. And it seemed like the escargot was the true winner amongst all our family members.
Entrees on this night feature some of the favorites, including the land and sea. So that is a beef tenderloin with a lobster tail. And if you want a second one of those, you'll have to pay $15 extra to get an extra plate of that. Almost everyone had the land and sea, and everyone agreed that it was pretty good. My daughter had the mustard crusted tuna, and she loved that as well. And here are the day 5 desserts for the last formal night.
On this night, we had 2 desserts. One was the Princess Love Boat Dream. It was a chocolate raspberry mousse, had a lot of strong raspberry flavor, and it was a winner for the night. The souffle with the vanilla sauce wasn't sweet and had no flavor and was the loser on this night.
Tonight they featured the chef's dinner, and the chef recommended several different things, starting off with some starter soups and salad. On this night, everyone seemed to be happy with their appetizers. All 3 of the appetizers we had were great. For the entrees, the chef recommended the rack of lamb or the grilled rockfish. But since the boys had rockfish ashore today when they went fishing, most of us chose the beef or the lamb.
The winner on this night was the rack of lamb. It was seasoned very well. We felt the rosemary jus was not needed. The loser, however, was the beef Wellington. Nobody cared for the filling inside of it.
And I skipped out on day 6 desserts, but there were several good choices. The warm Alaska blueberry cobbler is one of the favorites of the trip. Also, the chef invited us to a cooking demonstration the following day and a galley kitchen tour. Decided to take advantage of our Princess Plus package and go to the specialty casual lunch at the Salty Dog Cafe. The ambiance was lovely, there was a piano player, and we were really excited for this lunch.
Here is the menu for the Salty Dog Specialty Lunch Restaurant. You do get the Salty Dogs dipsticks included. They are just crunchy breadsticks with some beer cheddar fondue. They were pretty good. Then you can choose up to 2 plates from the following items. Some waiters did say you could choose 1 from the cheese and veggie plate and 1 from the burgers and more plate, but our waiter allowed us to choose 2 plates from either menu.
All of the sandwiches were pretty good, from the fried chicken to the grilled cheese. However, there was very little lobster in the lobster mac and cheese, and we thought it was just okay. I love calamari, but I tell you what, I was so disappointed with this one here. It was really unedible. This is one restaurant we would not recommend for lunch.
At the Salty Dog Cafe, you get a choice of 4 different desserts, and we tried 3 of them.
All the desserts that we had at the Salty Dog Cafe were very good. However, the lemon posset was probably the best. During our farewell dinner, we had a nice assortment of starter soups and salads.
This night was a tough decision. However, if we had to choose a winner, it would be the watermelon salad. This one tasted real fresh. It had feta, mint, and pumpkin seed. No real loser this night. It seemed like all the appetizers were on par. We did have the salmon cake with the poached egg and hollandaise sauce, and we thought it tasted overall pretty good.
On our last day, many of us got 2 different entrees just so we could take in the last of the cruise food.
Our favorite entree of the night was the pork belly. It was nice and crispy on the top and tender. The sweet and sour shrimp was pretty good as well. However, the prime rib just didn't live up to expectations.
And here is the last day of desserts. They sent us off with a baked Alaska march through the dining room with all the waiters and waitresses and service staff from the kitchen. International Cafe was one of our favorite spots. It's open 24 hours a day, and the honey lavender latte is amazing. They also offer many little sweets or savory snacks. This is also the location where you can get your specialty desserts on that premium or plus package from Princess. The Black Forest cake was the best one we tried.
Another popular area on the ship is the ice cream bar. Now, if you have the plus or premium package, this is where you're allowed up to 2 premium desserts a day. And if you don't have the package, you can get soft serve ice cream cones for free. But on this day, we had the La Dolce Vita sundae. Now, this sundae had the cheesecake, chocolate syrup, marshmallow, and vanilla gelato. This thing was huge. And I tell you what, we were unable to finish this sundae. However, it was very good. All right, so let's talk about the dining on the Coral Princess. We both had pretty good expectations coming into this cruise. Heard a lot of good news about the food from, I guess, both our parents, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, my parents always raved about the food on the Princess Cruise Line ships. Well,
yeah,
overall...
and I've been on a cruise before with Princess, and it was fantastic when I went, but it was about 15 years ago, maybe 20 years ago. So it's been a while since I've been on Princess.
Yeah, and it's probably been a good 15, 20 years as far as my parents are concerned going on a cruise ship with Princess too. So this brings us to 2025, and the food was just okay.
Yeah.
Overall.
There was a couple standout items, but for the most part, it was mediocre, I guess. We were filled. We didn't go hungry, that's for sure.
No, for sure.
But I didn't feel like it was an elevated experience. And that's kind of what I envisioned for Princess Cruise Lines.
Yeah. Now, the service was actually great.
Absolutely.
I mean, the service in the dining hall, we went for dinner. They were very attentive to our needs. They took their orders, always checked in on us, let us know when the food was going to come out. And then the second in command always was on top of us with the drinks, taking orders, making sure that we're getting the drinks in before the food was actually delivered to our table.
Yeah, the second night we were there, he knew every person's name and he knew everybody's drink that they had the night before.
Yep.
And so he said, Miss Melissa, would you like another glass of Prosecco like last night?
Alan, do you want another Long Island iced tea? I'd say, no, I got another drink for you.
Right. So that was really nice. And by the end of the cruise, they were joking around with us and laughing. And so that was really nice. Now, we did eat in the main dining room every single night.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because we wanted to spend time with our family. That was the whole point of growing on this cruise. And we loved that time together where we could all sit down and talk about our day and kind of reminisce about all the memories we created. So that was really nice. But on the other hand, I think that maybe the buffet might have had some good offerings to have for us.
Yeah, we did check out the buffet. I can't remember if that was lunch or dinner.
It was for lunch.
Lunch, yeah. And the variety of food was pretty good. I mean, they had all different types of cuisine. They had like Indian, Italian, obviously all your American dishes like burgers, chicken, fries, mac and cheese. So the choices were pretty good. They had dessert. They had a really nice dessert bar as well.
They did. Lots of options for dessert, so that was really nice. And the buffet for breakfast was really good as well.
Yeah.
You could get eggs made to order, and I even saw waiters bringing people their omelets, so you didn't have to stand there and wait. So that was really kind of neat to see.
Yeah, and I did order eggs Benedict after I came back from the gym. I didn't know what the procedure was. They gave me a ticket, bring it to the table. And then one of the persons that was in charge of that area in the dining hall would double check to make sure my eggs Benedict was ready and just bring it to my table. So it was really nice.
Yeah, and same goes for specialty coffees or Bloody Marys, mimosas. You could order it for someone at the counter. They would tell you to go have a seat and they'd bring it to your table. So that was lovely with the buffet. That was
Yeah.
one thing that I did because I don't love a buffet, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
But they really had it together. It was really nice.
Yeah, I did wanted to try the buffet for dinner just to get a chance to see what it was like. So that we didn't do, but we did squeeze in the lunch buffet just to see how things were there. So overall, pretty good there. Really no complaints. We didn't get a chance to do specialty dining, but a couple of family members did.
Yeah, they did Sabatini's one night, and they did the Crown Grill as well. So were able to do both of those, and I'll post those menus here. But they did say that it was an extended dining experience, so make sure that you plan plenty of time.
Yeah.
They booked the Crown Grill ahead of time, and they said that the food was great, but the service was really slow. It took them over 45 minutes for someone just to come to their table to take their drink order.
Yeah, so that you don't know if that's just like a one-time experience for that evening, or if it's like that all the time. But that's just their experience for dining that night.
They said Sabatini's was amazing. They had great service and great food as well. And so they really enjoyed that one. That one, they did dine a little bit quicker there, but it was a multi-course meal, and it was phenomenal. They said they really enjoyed it.
So as far as the dinner is concerned, we thought it was okay. Some dishes did better than others, as you saw earlier. My favorite was the Cajun fried chicken. I thought that was seasoned and crispy and just very flavorful. And that was the very first night. So I was like, hey, they're doing a really good job.
And my favorite was the halibut with prosciutto.
That one was really
incredible.
good too. Yeah.
Hands down, I would order that again.
That was probably my second favorite dish on the cruise while we were eating at dinner. Dessert-wise, we had a lot of choices. It was kind of mixed reviews there on the desserts.
Yeah, nothing was really sweet or super flavorful.
Yeah.
The pistachio dome was my personal favorite. As far as the desserts go, I probably would have ordered that multiple nights had I known, because that is on the Princess Favorites menu, so you can order that multiple nights. But that one was really good. But it was kind of okay that we didn't need all those desserts. There were a couple nights where we just didn't get any dessert at all because we were full.
Yeah, we were getting pretty full. I mean, when you're having 2 appetizers and then your main course and then dessert comes and then mix that in with a couple of drinks, those fill you up pretty fast.
Absolutely. And we did do the main dining room for breakfast a couple times, and we didn't really film a lot of that because a lot of times at breakfast you're asked to share a table. We would go just the 2 of us, and they would ask us to share with others, so we did. But I will say the French toast in the main dining room was very, very well done.
Yeah, and the pancakes was really good as well. I always compare pancakes to like Cracker Barrel pancakes, because I think they're relatively good. Their pancakes were very comparable. I mean, I ordered it twice while we were on the cruise. So
one day I did get poached eggs, and that was a disappointment. They gave me 2. And one of them came very hard boiled, and the other one was almost raw. It was the white was runny.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a hit or miss experience with the eggs. But overall, there's very limited options for breakfast in the main dining room. They have a couple things that change every day, but if you just really like oatmeal or yogurt or a pancake, then that's okay.
Yeah, and then you also have room service, right? So that's something you can rely on too if you want to sleep in or you just don't want to get out of bed and get dressed and head up to the restaurant. We did do room service, mostly for drinks, but we did order for food as well.
Right. We got the kids' chicken fingers, honestly. And the chicken fingers were great. They were probably one of the best things.
I did get a burger one night.
Oh, with room service?
Yeah, the night I stayed in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so my kids did order room service every single day. Every single day. And they said that it was okay. The kids' menu had the best options, they felt. One thing that I did do is we did order several drinks. Not every drink is on the drink menu, but there are some favorites on there. I got a mint julep, and then we got another bourbon type drink, I believe. And then they have hot chocolate and coffee. So that was really nice for the days when you're sailing Glacier Bay or Hubbard Glacier. And a little tip, you can order a hot chocolate or a coffee, and then you can order a liquor shot to go with it, and then you can just dump it right into your coffee or right into your hot chocolate. So I would get amaretto or Kahlua or Screwball whiskey in your hot chocolate. That's really good.
And another bonus, if you order, say, inside your stateroom and you decide, hey, I want to go to another part of the ship, they'll actually find you and deliver your drink.
Yes, you just have to make sure that you click that where your current location is.
That's important.
And so if you have your current location checked, they will find you wherever you are. We went from our stateroom, and the wait times for drinks on those days are a little bit longer.
Especially when you're cruising.
Everybody's ordering. They're all out on their balconies. They're all out wanting to see the glaciers or the wildlife. And we walked from our balcony to the back of the ship to the aft, and they found me there, and they brought me my hot chocolate and Screwball whiskey.
Yeah. So there you go. Service was great. Food was average for the most part. Same with the desserts. But overall experience, we rated pretty high.
Yes. The service on that ship was by far probably some of the best service that we've gotten at sea.
Yeah.
So that was really, really nice to have. And time with family, of course, was phenomenal. So make sure that you like this video and subscribe, because we are going to be, our next video is going to be Hubbard Glacier.
Ooh.
Yes.
That's the largest glacier.
It is. It is huge. So make sure that you subscribe so that you can see that one. And we'll put a link to our cabin tour and some of our cabin tips and tricks, kind of our review for the cabins down below. So make sure that you find that video as well if you're thinking about going on the Coral Princess or any princess ship. We might have some tips and tricks for you there as well.
And leave any questions, comments below. We'll gladly answer them.
All right. We'll see you in the next video.
See ya.